Richmond Raceway, a 3/4 mile D-shaped oval nestled in the Commonwealth of Virginia, will set a nice stage for round number 9 of 24 on season 7 of the Speed Racing Network HairClub Truck Series season for some racing action. I am Emerson Arden with Jonathan Byer alongside in the virtual booth this evening, and we're excited to be bringing you live coverage from virtual Richmond, Virginia. And last time out, it was Lane Doyle outlasting all of the chaos in the Poconos, where he was nagging win number 2 on the season, and he held the points lead in the process. Tonight, we will feature another, I believe it's the 3rd short track on the season for us, another short track challenge for these HairClub boys. JP, it's time to see who will come out on top.
Hey, Richmond, one of my favorite tracks on the schedule. It's always good to get a short track in here. We don't run a lot of them. This is one of the only ones this season, and I think we're in store for a pretty good show here this evening.
Absolutely, and it's time for us to head down tracks. I get our starting lineup up on the board, and there it is. On the front row, we have Kyle Johnson in the 48 machine, winner at Talladega, trying to get his 2nd win on the season. Aiden King scored as the 1. He will start 2nd. David Flanagan will start 3rd. Bo Brady 4th. It'll be Daniel Baldler P5. Andrew Harris P6. James Shane Wolf, last week's winner, Lane Doyle, will start P8. Matthew Greathouse will start P9. Dalton McKenney then P10.
Scott Kalal will roll off 11th. Drake Carty, who we've seen on an absolute tear recently, will start 12th. Corey Stahl 13th. Austin DeLong 14th. Ben Park rounds out the top 15. Dylan Godinez 16th. Sean Corcoran 17th. Adam Capps, a newcomer to the Outfront Motorsports team in the number 4 truck. He'll start 18th. Wally Babb 19th. And Sean Merriman will conclude the top 20.
We find our way back to row number 11. It'll be 21st place Shane Ledoux. It'll be Robert Vick starting 22nd. 23rd then will be Spencer Brown. 24th, Sean Long. It'll be row 13, made up of Kyle Spees and Jason Kratke. Michael Sidor, Chris Luttrell will start in row 14, with Jeffrey Vickery starting 29th and Connor Cunningham starting in 30th this evening.
Justin Smith 31st, Daniel Park 32nd, and Mark Person will round out a 33 truck field here at Richmond.
16 and a half rows of Speed Racing Network HairClub Truck Series vehicles getting ready to do battle tonight here from Richmond, Virginia, as the pace car begins the 2 formation laps tonight. There is that number 90 machine of Aiden Kiki. He'll be scored as the 1, just doesn't have that number programmed in just yet. How about Talladega race winner Kyle Johnson making some noise, making sure that he's not only known as the plate race winner at Talladega. Kyle Johnson, we know he's got the speed to compete every week, and he's put that truck on the front row to start tonight's race. We'll see how it plays out for him.
Yeah, and I kind of looked at this field, Emerson. They have this kind of extended waiting period here. Aiden King, I mean, maybe a name some people recognize, but he made multiple late model starts in the Carolinas. So he's a short track driver in real life, and while the sim is very different, there are some similar attributes, things you can take from the racetrack to the sim. I think that's going to give him a little advantage here this evening. So even though he's a sub and he doesn't race all the time, I expect him to have a pretty good night. But I look a little further back. I think this is James Shane Wolf's night. I think he runs really well at tracks like this, and he's really good at just minding his business and getting the job done at the end of the day and staying clean up because of it.
James Shane Wolf pegged as JB's pick to win tonight. I guess I've got to pick one then. I like Daniel Baldler's aggression. I think he can get it done for P5 tonight.
Good choice. Good choice. Good short track racers. So
there you go.
You're onto something there.
Well, here we go. The 3rd to last race of the 2024 calendar year for Speed Racing Network HairClub Truck Series action is about to commence. We are green from Richmond. Drake Carty into the outside wall. Lap 1 incident for the pole sitter and Kyle Johnson.
Yeah, it looks like Austin Long was the first driver that got into his door, and then everybody else kind of just stopped up bumper to bumper. I think everybody was able to get across the start-finish line, however, which is going to help us keep the field sorted nicely, but not the start that the 48 truck won.
Very unfortunate start to the action tonight here from Richmond. And let's take a look at, well, I guess the initial start of tonight's race, JB, where it is the 48 of Kyle Johnson starting on the inside, Aiden King to his outside in the 90 machine. And they make a little contact getting into the corner. We'll see how it starts here. Looks like Flanagan, a little shove to the 48, and Kyle just really shoots it off into the corner. I think harder than even he anticipated. There's the 22.
Yeah.
Oh, big hits there.
Yeah. It looks like the 22 kind of took the worst of all the damage. All the other drivers, even, you saw Ben Park there on the bottom slide a little bit over. I think they're going to be all right, but yeah, I think it's a combination getting shoved off of the corner. But Aero 2, we don't talk a lot about it on these short tracks. Well, when that truck's on your outside there, that's a tough ass. Take all that side force off.
I want to apologize. Absolutely zero contact from David Flanagan. That was all Kyle Johnson.
I think it's just a product of what I'm talking about. That's that side force being gone when you have a truck so tight on your door. And maybe the 48 also thought that the 90 was going to be a little higher in the corner, but the 90's all the way well in the second groove if you kind of go by the lines in the corners. So no fault of the 90 being where he was.
Take another look at it. And so much happened here. Kyle Johnson goes around. See Ben Park and Corey Stahl and 74 of I believe that's Corcoran involved. And the 4 of who's that? And the 4 came to a complete stop. Adam Capps, the new guy.
Adam Capps, our new guy. Yeah.
Welcome to SRN.
Yeah. Woo, what a start to his career. SRN. I think the 22 and the 74 took a brunt of those impacts. Everybody else kind of did a really good job of just slowing down and waiting for the track to kind of clear itself and then working their way through. And that's really the best way to go about wreck avoidance here at Richmond. Because you have the wall so close on the inside and outside, when there's wrecks, Emerson, everything just clogs up. I mean, there's just nowhere to go a lot of the time. So the best option, hey, just come to a stop, wait for everything to sort itself out, and then proceed carefully.
Well, everyone who's pitted so far in this race is suspected of being involved in that incident. We take Corey Stahl in the 33. He made a pit stop. Sean Merriman in the 18 was around the incident. Kyle Johnson, of course, the star of the show. Adam Capps came to a complete stop. I don't think he got any damage, but maybe caught some tires for locking him up. Ben Park is getting the wave around. He did not pit. I think just scoring had him trapped back there. Sean Corcoran did pit. In that 74, you still see the visible damage there. And Austin DeLong is still sitting on the pit lane. Mark Person is back there. I don't believe he pitted. I think he just started from the pit lane. And that's the recap to this point.
Obviously, none of these guys are going to be taking tires at this point. Every driver only has 3 sets in addition to the set they start on. And, this is a track that tires mean a lot. We've talked about those tracks this year. We've come across a few tracks that, tire degradation is a big deal, but at Richmond, man, you can really cook the fronts off in a hurry if you're not careful, and that can cause major issues in racing.
The iRacing.com safety vehicle finds its safety in pit lane. Green flag. Out to a great start. Jumps up to that top side, maybe a little before the start-finish line, so that'll be intriguing to watch here. But Aiden King off to a great start here as they roar down the back.
Much more organized start here. Good job just getting out the clean racetrack, getting away from these guys a little bit.
Great start there, Aiden King, and that opens up a half-second advantage over the rest of the field right here. Bo Brady and David Flanagan battling it out for P2. Those are 2 names we haven't called a whole lot up here inside the top 5. Flanagan's been nudging some top 10s out of that 5 machine, but Bo Brady and Flanagan up here 2nd and 3rd. Some great starts for them. We'll see if they can hold on.
Yeah, we've seen Flanagan run really well, but just hasn't been a real finish there. Either it's an incident he gets caught up in of his own doing or not. Sometimes it's just circumstantial. But always we see him in the beginning of these races run pretty good. He's up there to start the day.
Battle here. Pocono race winner Lane Doyle files in behind the 8 of Matthew Greathouse and Drake Carty right here. This is 1st and 2nd at points right here, battling for P8 on the track.
Yeah, and Lane Doyle was able to maintain that points lead because he won last week.
Absolutely.
Even though Hardy led most of the laps in that race. And so Lane doing a good job of just maintaining his distance there. And we got a truck around in the back, half spun. We're going to stay green a little bit.
Oh,
like
two trucks around. Corey Stahl and the 71 of Spencer Brown. Yellow's going to be coming out.
Yeah, I saw out of the side of my screen here that the 71 truck was sideways. Not sure what happened back there. Take a look.
See what we can deduce here. This is the 71 off of turn 2. Contact there as he comes up the track right in front of Chris Luttrell. Big hit there for Corey Stahl. 2 for 2 on the incidents tonight for the 33 of Corey Stahl.
Yeah, I saw the 71 kind of. That was a big hit by the 33, but
yeah,
the 71 looks like he kind of wiggled coming off the corner and had to chase it up, and then, well, since he was already chasing it up, I think he just had to finish it there.
Right in front, Kyle Spees got sideways, but he saved it. But Spencer Brown tried to take a little more liberty on the track, and unfortunately met the double zero.
That's something you'd see more on the front stretch here because of the curvature. You don't see it too much on the back stretch, but like I said, I think the 71 just a little bobble there, and then he was just coming up the track, and obviously was not clear. Maybe he needs to get back to the classifieds and see if there's some spotters for higher in the paper.
Just not clear, and then really not clear.
Yeah. Sometimes, unfortunately, you don't know you're not clear until
until you make contact.
So, yeah, unfortunately, it's a part of it sometimes. But other than that, we were settling in pretty nice there. So
yeah, good start. And I was gonna ask if that continued on. Now, JB, we know Aiden King has a real life racing background, and that could play a pivotal role in tonight's race. But that could, in theory, might work against him, right? Because you got to think those races are short, and they're almost all-out sprints here. Saving tire isn't quite the message you're taught, at that level. Unless you have save resources, then yes, you do have to save tire.
And what those guys will tell you, Emerson, is what they rely on those short tracks is the ability to feel the race car. Like that's how you really know when you're leaning on the limit of the tire, how hard you're pressing the right front, how much you're spinning the left rear. Well, you don't have that sense of that in the sim. Right. Now, some of these guys have some pretty advanced rigs and pretty advanced setups where they can kind of get a somewhat of a feel for it, but there's nothing that replaces that real in-seat feel. Yeah, exactly. And you talk to those guys, and that's just a big piece of it. And that's what the difference is sometimes. Why you see guys that are very, very talented racers in their local short track program, they struggle on iRacing a little bit because they lose that feel, and that's what they drive off of, and that's what's important to them. So, I mean, that could be a situation where that might hurt Aiden a little bit, but Emerson, you're 100% right. We're talking heat races, we're talking 40, 50 lap features, pretty short stuff. I mean, we're running 175 here tonight. Now, granted, there's going to be some pit stops in there, but still, if he gets off to a half second lead and just runs away, I mean, some of these guys behind him, I know that their forte is more of that tire saving model, and that's what makes it so much fun on these long runs. You have comers and goers, and unfortunately, we haven't seen a lot of NASCAR recently because of the tire compounds and other things, but it's one of my favorite ways to watch racing is see those different strategies. The guys that want to attack and get out to a big lead, and then the guys that choose to kind of lay back and save some tire. But that's also what creates the strategy on how far do you run the set of tires. Because you're only going to need to stop once for fuel, but at what point we get kind of settled in green flag running, we're going to kind of split up that tire different. It's interesting to track some of those things.
Right, that was going to be my question. How well is Aiden King going to do in a longer term race? Obviously he's going to be very quick on the short run. We've seen that, but it'll be something to watch and something that he could prove either right or wrong here. As the iRacing.com safety vehicle finds its safety down the pit lane, green flag back in the air. Racing from Virginia continues. clean restart from the field to lap 18 of 175. It's still Aiden King leading Bo Brady, David Flanagan, Daniel Baldler, and James Shanewolf as Baldler is fourth, and Shanewolf and Harris, they're dueling it out for 50. 87 of Andrew Harris, truck around, Jeffrey Vickery cautions out.
Yeah, we had a little trouble there in the backstretch in the back. Robert Vick, Sidor, Vickery, Park all involved in that one.
Take a look and see what happened to the 51 van of Jeffrey Vickery. Yeah, he's running 3 wide. Oh, truck around ahead. It's Robert Vick and nowhere to go. Corey Stahl was nearly 3 for 3 on Rex tonight.
Yeah, not the start Corey's wanted. Nowhere for the 86 to go, and then obviously behind him it's just a bunch of avoidance. Unfortunately, the 86 gets tagged multiple times in that.
Yeah, rough spot here. We're right on board with Sidor because this is all going on. And
then Park got a pretty good piece of the back of the 51 as well. Just nowhere to go. Nothing.
Yeah, Vic
really
just checks
there.
up and what are you gonna do? Oh, and it gets hooked. Didn't see that part of it.
Yeah, and that's where a lot of that damage came from. That truck right there.
Take an overlook at that. That's that part's interesting.
Yeah, it looks. Yeah, I mean that's just product of the 13 getting sideways, and then all these guys are so close together. There's just nowhere to go. I mean,
well, the 13 was sideways for like half a lap.
Yeah, he was. he probably, if there wasn't a truck there, he likely would have run that around.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah, I mean, wow. Just double whammies.
Yeah. These guys will obviously come down and get some damage fixed. I mean, there's good and bad to the damage here. A lot of the cosmetic stuff doesn't really matter. Obviously, you don't want any engine damage or suspension damage, but cosmetic stuff's not going to make a big difference for you. But the other problem is these pace laps are so short. You don't have a lot of time to sit on pit road and get stuff fixed. So it's kind of a balance, Emerson. If you're already in the back, you don't mind coming down every time, getting a couple seconds. You're not really giving much up. But now let's say you're Dalton McKinney in 10th and you get a little bit of damage on that incident, maybe a little something on the door. You're not going to give up all that position to come get that fixed. Now, if we were at like a 1.5 mile track or something like that where it means a lot more, that's a different conversation, obviously. So these guys also not only have to play the strategy if we're talking about the fuel and the tires, they have to play the strategy of, okay, if they get some damage, how much is it going to hurt them, and kind of run that cost analysis of track position. Because ultimately, track position at a short track is of the most important.
Absolutely. Well, it's being evident right now in that Corey Stahl has been in a lot of trouble to start this race, and he nearly got caught up in that incident just by virtue of where he's been restarting. And you see,
you don't want to put yourself back there unless you have to be back there.
Right. To this
right?
point, the top. Now, obviously, the pole sitter of Kyle Johnson did go around, which that's also an anomaly because that rarely does happen. But with the front has been the safe spot to be, other than I guess lap 1.
Right. Yeah. Up front is always the safer space to be. The only place we don't normally say that is on super speedways because of the blocking nowadays. But on every other track, I mean, the racing from 10th to 20th is really intense, and that's where a lot of incidents start. And if you don't have to be back there, you probably don't want to be. So it's better to stay in front of it.
Well, we saw Harris and Shanewolf, they did battle, and Harris came out on top before Vizziello. So we'll see now if he's able to maintain and hold position now as he restarts on the inside for this restart. As the iRacing.com safety vehicle finds its safety down in the pit lane, the field in the hands of Aiden King, green flag back in the air. Truck around, Pocono winner lane, Doyle slides onto the apron. Scott Kalal does as well, and they stay green.
That's a very, very nice save.
Wow.
Not only to avoid spinning it around, but avoiding that pit entry wall. That was tight there by the 47. Great job.
Great stuff, and Kalal. Now, unfortunately, they both lose tons of track position there.
Yeah.
Now back in that zone that we just talked about, you want to avoid. But man, what a way to keep those trucks. Yeah. Oh yeah.
That could have been catastrophe there with those pit barrels.
My goodness, what a catch. So, Aiden King this run, he is pretty much half the gap he did have the last time. We got a couple laps under green. Bo Brady has kept Aiden King much more in his sights, much more in an attainable gap, but he has not been able to shake David Flanagan in the fight machine either.
Yeah, we see a lot when Flanagan's running well. He just maintains top 5. Like, he just sits there, and the race kind of comes to him a little bit. And I think barring just some of the incidents that have been out of his control this year, he would have finished very well and maybe even won a race or two. But, you know, your pick Bodler back there in 4th, he's kind of one I watch at because he says he's not good at saving tires, but he's really good at maintaining a good pace over a long run. Might not start blowing by people late in the run, but does a good job of keeping his whole pace up the whole time, especially when it comes to like getting around lap traffic, which we haven't talked about a lot this year because we haven't really had much of that, but it's definitely something we'll encounter today.
Definitely seems like that could be the case. Well, first timer in SRN, Adam Capps, getting into it, not getting into it, but getting into a battle with Justin Smith.
He's been running that higher line too. I've been watching the last few laps, and we used to not see that at all, but now with the next gen car, people have kind of learned to run that line, and now they're bringing it to the other vehicles too because they see, oh, it keeps my momentum up a lot, and I don't think that's a great decision for tire wear, but it's definitely an easier way to get around guys fast because they're all locked in on the bottom and that's my guys up top. But something we didn't used to see at all, but now with the next gen car naturally running a little bit higher, you see it at Phoenix, you see it at even Martinsville sometimes.
Absolutely.
There's a little bit more you have out there.
I'm actually a little surprised that it hasn't been more of a thought of option when it comes to races here at Phoenix, or I'm sorry, at Richmond, because while it is, you know, a relatively flat track, of the flatter tracks, it's a lot of banking. I'd say, I guess it's the middle of the run kind of track in terms of banking. 14 degrees in the corners, 8 on the straightaways, and less than 0.2 of a second, the gap between Aiden King and Bo Brady. Bo Brady was hanging right on the tailgate of the 90 machine, and so now King in trouble. We're under attack from the 9 machine of Bo Brady.
I think you're getting your answer, Emerson. I don't think this is Aiden kind of just backing up to maintain gap because he definitely want to be a little bit further away than he is right now to be comfortable. I mean, running obviously a pretty conservative line, but you see how aggressive he is on corner entry? That makes me think that he's using about all those front tires can handle. But I look at Bo Brady, he's backing up the corner and he's rolling it really well. And I think that's what's giving him such a good run off the corner. You can make up a lot of time that way. Now, we know, and we say this every week, you can get to him, but you still got to pass. And that's that's a whole nother conversation with a lot of guys in this field. Some guys pride themselves on being very difficult to pass, and that's their right. But it can be frustrating too when you're trucking a lot faster.
Absolutely, and we'll see here, right? I think you are absolutely right, JB. And by the way, you mentioned the point, right, of trying to get that seat of the pants feeling. Well, you know, the way you can at least feel something out of the vehicle is really driving the corners hard. And that's what King is doing, and he's getting in there really well, but you're right. The back stretch, it doesn't mean as much, but if you can make that front stretch really long and capitalize on that pace, you're going to set yourself up very nicely through turns 1 and 2 and have a shot going into 3 and 4 to make that overtake, right? So, the more you can prioritize those exits, the better. And if we can fall into a run here, that 90 truck, if he continues to drive those corners like that, he will not be making that nose turn down the racetrack very long.
Yeah, we talk about this too sometimes. Oh, hooks it into 3 and 4, and that's going to give 9 a little bit of a look. But look at the body language of those two trucks when they come off the corner. It's the tail. It's two different stories completely. The 9 looks comfortable, looks controlled. You can tell that the 90's fighting it. you know, he's trying to make the truck go somewhere where it's just not wanting to go.
Ooh.
And if you're already facing handling issues, it's just going to make it a lot worse.
Side by side out of turn number 4, Aiden King under attack. Bo Brady, the challenger, in the turn number 1, lap 39 of 175. And Bo Brady has risen to the occasion. Can he stay to the inside of the 90 machine? For the moment, he falls behind.
It's going to be a tough pass down there. I really think that you're going to have to try to get to his outside or get a really, really, really good run into the corner. Full contact between Kyle Johnson and Lane Doyle a little further back in the field, but it looks like they've kept it straight. And we'll be all right there.
Now, it's not, you know, curtains for Aiden King, if you will. If this goes to a long run, he can still salvage. He can still, you know, make that truck as wide as possible and continue to run that high line, just as he did to fend off Bo Brady there. But you've got to think, and I think he maybe even has. You can probably even see it. Oh my goodness! Hello, Toyota Tundra.
Yeah, right. It's you're looking in your mirror and you're like, oh, that was quick, and then you see how deep that causes the 90 to drive it into the corner. That's, if you're Bo Brady, it's almost a balance. Yes, you want to get by him, but you have to try to bait him into making a mistake. So that's going to be the easiest way around him. Obviously, the bumper's in play.
Yeah. I think it's early. Way too early.
We're not that many laps in. Like that's something we're going to see with 20 or 30 to go for sure. But right now, I mean, Bo Brady knows he's faster. He's got to be patient because that 90 truck looks like the handling is getting worse and worse on corner exit. So I think it's only a matter of time before maybe he gets a little bit of the wall or just has to get way out of the throttle on exit, and the 9 will be there on attack mode. But I mean, look, we talked about these top 3 separating there, Emerson. Now you look back and kind of the top 6 now that have kind of joined this little battle. And part of the product is the 90 truck is holding up the 9. And so that's going to naturally bunch all these guys back up. And then we'll really get a look at it. But I've been looking at lap times over the past few laps. And interesting, fastest truck on the track, Daniel Bodler, faster than everybody else by a 10th. He's still running 22.7s. Everybody else is 22.8s and higher.
To your point, JB, about Aiden earlier in the run, driving it really hard, I think he and making mistakes, right, being the way for Bo Brady to get past. I think Aiden King has stopped himself from driving that hard into the corner now. Now that he has a truck on his tailgate, they're side by side now as King is sideways out of 2. He holds on to the position for the time being. Here comes Bo Brady to the inside, side by side across the stripe. King leads the lap. Brady wants the lead now into turn 1. Contact as they hit each other's sides and doors. The fenders are flying, and they're still side by side down the back. More contact.
Wow, good job by Bo Brady holding on to that truck. But the reason you saw contact there in the 1 is the 9 didn't want to be all the way on the bottom.
Yeah.
He was trying to get a little, like half a lane extra, and that's how you do it. You kind of lean your door into the person's door above you to get a little bit extra room. Hey, that's all fair game at a short track. Like we frown upon that at somewhere like Charlotte, but here at Richmond, that's fair game.
Woo! I'll take a quick moment, look back here. There is Shane Wolf was sideways and nearly into the side of the 87. Here's Shane Wolf, and then also Dalton McKinney a little further back. That thing is sideways.
Opposite of what we're seeing with the 90 truck with these guys. You know, we're seeing that the front end of that 90 not want to turn. These guys, it's turning. It's turning too much is the problem. They got nothing left in the rear. And why you see that with the fixed setup 2 completely different ways, that's all driving style.
Yep.
It's if you lean on the right front or you lean on the right rear, you know, and that'll change the way the tire wears and change the handling of your truck. So unique there to see your different driving styles. These trucks, very easy to drive off the right front, a lot harder to drive off the right rear.
Great defense at this point from Aiden King. Bo Brady piling on the pressure onto the tailgate of the 90 machine. Sideways is Aiden King. Bo Brady sticking his nose down to the inside. In the turn 1, he can't make it stick.
Bo just needs just a marginal better run out
Big
of turn
run.
4.
And here comes lap truck, JB.
Yep, this is where lap trucks are coming in the equation, and now we got a whole bunch of trucks up here. This is going to get interesting here in a moment.
Huge moment. Bo Brady maybe leads at the stripe. King huge run down the front, tries to get back ahead, but Brady has the advantage now. Into the corner. Is it curtains for the 90 machine as the 71 darts out of the way? Contact between the 2 leaders. More contact.
I said it was fair game. We're starting to blend that boundary now of what is fair game. You know, Aiden King though, he's respecting this. This is what he does on the weekend live, so he's probably all right with it. But these guys behind him are probably like, oh my goodness, what are we getting ourselves up into? So but there you go. Brady, you see the 9 there. Good run off the corner. That's what he needed. He just needed to get clear. Yeah.
Well, Brady is clear to the 90, race lead.
Unfortunately for the 90, he's got these you know, this next couple drivers hungry as well.
We're not done yet.
Crossover.
Huge send from the 90 of Aiden King.
Ooh, good job by Bo Brady keeping it tight on his door there, not giving him
man.
off the corner. That's textbook right there.
Big send again.
Ooh,
up the track, into the side. And off the corner, Bo Brady drives away, but wow. Wow. Fantastic stuff at the front of the field here in Richmond. This
is what you love about Richmond. It's this racing right here. Oh, Mark Purston in a tough spot.
Tight with the lap truck. Now, contact.
No contact there.
Baldwin wants to get a 2-for-1 special as King sideways again. King
Other
gets
guy right on the left rear of the 90 there. Got him loose off the corner. Butler's going to try to take advantage. He's got position. Like I said, this is that position where getting it around somebody on the top is so much easier than the bottom. I mean, if you can get to somebody's right rear quarter, that's the way to go. And that 90 truck, he is struggling with that handling right now. Harris sideways back there right behind him.
He has used up all the good stuff on those virtual Goodyear Eagles. David Flanagan got
there's
used
your answer,
up.
Emerson.
Yeah.
You asked the question, you know, a little bit ago. There you go.
And Daniel Baller gets clear, and now this is a hungry pack of wolves as Carney and McKinney make contact.
That was almost big. Yeah.
Wow.
All loose off the corner and just running out of room against each other.
By the way, for McKinney, one of the better runs for that 46 machine. Surprising it's taken to this point of the season, JB, but McKinney up inside the top 10, and a force we reckon was everyone is sideways out of 2.
This group of 5 right here is racing tough. Which, if you look at the 5 drivers,
it is a brawl.
Surprised. Yeah. That's just what these guys do, but wow.
Absolutely.
That's what you want to see. You want to see racing like that, but everybody, as soon as they start to make contact, they get out of the gas, let the competitors gather it back up and go back to work.
Well, look at that. Harris, big pinch there on the 59 of Carty. Bab wants in on the mix. Contact.
Carty loose.
Carty has to hang on to the machine, and here comes that McDinger's number 46.
And that's the problem with somebody like Carty we saw with the 90. Once you get out of position, you can lose a lot of spots because they can be all lined up, and if you can't get back up and kind of clear from some of these guys, you're going to lose 2 or 3 more spots. I think that's what you want to hear with the 59.
This is going to be interesting. How does Aiden King fall into this mix of absolute dogs going 3 wide here in Richmond?
That's a bold choice.
Wow.
Somehow we make it okay, but
Shane Wolf has said the lap truck helps as a pick. Robert Vick on the high side. Huge momentum for the driver trying to lap him. Can't find a way past the 13. Somehow,
that was tight.
They're all clean out of it.
And we talked about a lap trucks a little bit this year, not a lot, but all you want them to do here at Richmond, commit to the bottom, commit to the top, and just stay there. You know, when you enter the corner, whatever line you're entering, stay there, let the leaders work around you. If you see a 2-wide battle behind you, Harris gets shoved off into the corner big time there.
Switch for second, Balder gets second on Flanagan.
Well, yeah, what I'm saying about those lap trucks is, if you see a 2-wide battle behind you, sometimes it's better just to hold down below the yellow line and let them have it. Because you don't want to put yourself in a position to get wrecked either, and unfortunately we see it quite a bit with just how tight some of these closing windows are.
I mean, this is some phenomenal stuff. Absolute dogs up here inside the top 10 with pretty much everyone inside the top 10 has that kind of fight in them that This is gonna be a long run to the pit stop here.
Hearing Dan Park and Jason Crackey have some considerable damage. I don't know what happened between those guys. Obviously, we're staying green, but Crackey's on pit road now, so definitely got some form of damage from some incident. But
exciting up for the lead, JB.
99's around.
Oh no, Wally Babb in trouble. Caution on the speedway.
And that was a hard hit to the outside wall by the 99.
Just as it was getting good for the lead as well, Baldler was closing the gap on Brady.
I believe that's going to be just a solo truck there involved. He definitely got some help, but...
Well, here we go. I think, JB, this was Wally trying to send it, maybe clear past the 90 truck, seeing how difficult the 90's been to pass. Oh, a little bit of contact.
And, you know, just like we see at a lot of tracks, once those trucks get hooked together, not much you can do. It's just going to pull them right up. Good job by Dalton McKinney there. Just buying the 90 kind of, because he could have run right up in that and did a good job of, he may have made a little contact with the back of the 90 truck, but nothing serious.
Wally kind of just tried, he tried to send it in there and clear past Aiden King, but Wally, I don't think or estimated there from the 90 was that Aiden King also sends it into the corner, and that's where they got together.
And we saw the 90 truck was running a little bit higher in the middle of the corner because of how that truck was just not turning very well. So you would kind of think he'd be a little higher than that first white line as well, but that's a product of just Richmond racing right there. I mean, your trucks aren't handling great, so sometimes when you try to get a little bit extra, that's all it takes.
Well, everyone takes that opportunity to pit here. Bo Brady is not the leader. Sorry, Daniel Baldler won the race off pit road.
Got off pit road a little bit faster, just had a better pit stop, it looks like.
All of a sudden, Daniel Baldler has the advantage.
Emerson Development just got word from admins. Number 90 truck. End of line on this restart for causing that incident. So admins believe that Aiden King was running a little bit lower maybe in the corner than he should have, or maybe something else there, I'm not sure, but that was their ruling, and so that'll change the complexity of this event a little bit. That's a tough call.
That's tough. I probably
kind of hate
not
making a call either way on that. Yeah, I mean, I hate making a call either way on that, because I think that's just late run short track racing there. There may have been more to that story too.
Maybe we didn't get it all. That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, things can be said of a race chat as well, and that can change your
absolutely
where you sit on maybe your involvement in an incident.
Just on what we know, I would have said just racing incident. It's kind of on both of them more than anything.
Yeah, I agree.
There might be more to the story that we haven't been privy to just yet. You might be right about that, JB.
Yeah. But good news for Wally Babb. Yes, it was a hard hit, but the truck doesn't look too bad. So all the wheels are pointed the right way, and hood's still on it. So he's got all the quarter panels as well. So yeah, I mean, you know, he's not out of this thing. I mean, a hard hit, but
engine damage on a short track isn't the worst.
No, as long as the temperature stays good and you're not gonna, expire the engine, you can be down a few RPM and survive.
And sometimes it can help you with tire wear. It can be actually a little bit better if you get it the right way at a track like I don't know, like a Martinsville.
Yeah. I think at this point we're gonna be good on fuel mileage, but tire wear is what we're gonna be looking at. So.
That's right. And most of these guys using their first set of tires. They still have two sitting in the pit, JB. As the iRacing.com safety vehicle finds its safety down in the pit lane, the field in the hands of Daniel Baldler. Green flag in the air, 105 laps to go from Richmond. Truck sideways in the back, and the back was Dan Park. I think we stay green.
Yep. Good job gathering it back up.
And out caution.
Now we have yellow. Jeffrey Vickery, Michael Sidor, it looks like.
Connor Cunningham, Sean Long. Trouble as well.
Yep. First, we've talked about Connor Cunningham this evening, and unfortunately not where we wanted to be talking about him.
Truck still looks clean.
Yeah.
Oh, Corey Stahl in trouble.
Oof. Again.
Man.
Poor Corey.
He's had a lot tonight.
He's had a rough go at it tonight so far.
Yeah, he has. So, here's what transpired. We'll take a look at Connor Cunningham. And it's the 84, Sean Long.
Yeah, Sean Long gets loose, and
then Kalal gets in there.
Yeah, everybody kind of stacks up, it looks like.
Yeah. So that's where Corey Stahl got the damage. Just nowhere to go. It's all really Sean Long getting in trouble there, and no one had anywhere to go.
John Merriman got the snap with the red and white truck.
Oh, he goes right to the middle of it. There's Corey Stahl's slide. No damage.
Yeah, Scott Kalal did a good job, too. He could have been a lot more involved in that, too. Set 23, truck mostly clean, it looks like.
Didn't get that view. We'll show that one again. This is Corey Stahl's slide across the infield. There. What comes up on it.
The product, unfortunately, why Corey's been in this stuff is just naturally where he's running. I mean, just that part of the pack is, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen there. Yeah, right in his lap.
Well, let's take this opportunity, JB, to hear a word from our partners here at SRN as we have 100 laps to go. Don't you guys go anywhere. Some messages from our partners. And then racing action on the far side.
What I'm about to do is something you never want to do, ever, period. But because I have top coat F11, I can. Watch this. Literally, black paint. I'm just wiping it dry. Come on, you can't beat that. You just can't beat that. That's Top Cut F11 for you.
Welcome, race fans, back to the virtual Richmond Raceway. We're working round 9 of 24 on the Speed Racing Network HairClub Truck Series season. And it's Daniel Butler, the leader, as the iRacing.com safety vehicle finds its safety down in the pit lane. Racing once again, under 100 to go from Richmond. Daniel Baldler under heavy attack from Bo Brady, trying to get it around the outside. That 9 machine goes. Bo Brady clears it. Don McKinney
46.
spins.
46 around.
And keeps it out of the wall.
Wow. I don't know how you do that. That's...
I don't know if that's called a save, but he saved the race car from being damaged.
Yeah, that was that's a tough place to go around right there and not hit anything and not anybody else hit you.
That was phenomenal. We will right on board with Dalton McKinney. So here he is. He's P6 or 7 and just loses it on his own. No damage by anyone upcoming and stops right before hitting that inside concrete barrier. I mean, not a whole lot of space to do that.
You know,
wow.
Yeah, that's
unbelievable.
So, apparently we need to check out the replay from the 6 truck point of view. I was just told. I'm told that is a pretty good ride. We've seen a couple of good misses, but I heard this is a good one. So,
Let's
that's
see
Justin Smith in the 6.
See if this is the true. Also sideways there was an 88 to Godinez. Oh, baby!
Huh.
That is a avoidance.
Wow.
Whoever that
How did he not hit him?
was, yeah, it was not a lie.
So we don't know how the 46 didn't hit the wall, and we have no idea how the 6 didn't hit the 46.
I don't know. Why are we even under yellow?
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. We just should have kept going here, but
oh,
yeah,
that's awesome.
Just get loose. You know, when you're exiting off the corner, that second
wow.
line. Wow. Almost got it with the tail too. That's an easy spot on the track to get loose coming off the banking like that. So unfortunate. But we were looking at the 9 battling the 2 on that restart, and yeah, now I was about to say before that caution, I wouldn't be surprised if Bodler lets the 9 go, because we kind of saw that the last run. They let the 9 go, the 9 battled the 90, and then Bodler got right back up to him. You know, right before that caution came out, the 2 was there. And so, you know, I don't think Bodler really wants to, you know, race the wheels off it right now. You know, let Bo Brady go, and you know you're better in the long run. You can get back to him. Now, in order for that to happen, obviously, we have to have a long run again, but you never know.
Now, Daniel Butler, he was better than Bo Brady on that last long run. But Bo Brady also drove the absolute wheels off of it trying to get around Aiden King.
Yep.
So now with no 90 truck in front, will that be the same case? That's also another factor.
Yeah, it's just the 90 at the start tail end. We haven't heard from him since. You know, he's mired back there a little bit further.
We haven't heard
all the way back in 15th.
I was about to say we haven't heard from our pole sitter, but he's up in P8.
Yeah, you know, you lose 32 trucks with a track position on the first lap. It's going to take you a minute to get back up there where you need to go. So he's slowly working on it. He's getting there. Or just in front of him, a guy we haven't talked about all night, but for some reason we usually always talk about him, Kyle Speeds. You know, maybe not somebody that's known for his short track racing, but that's a clean-looking race truck. And he's the best at doing that in the field. So it's paying dividends so far. Nice top 10 run to this point. I wouldn't be surprised if we end up talking about him again before this thing's over.
Me neither. That was just the halfway lap right there, JB. Did I do my math wrong? Is it 5 laps? We are
93 to go right now, so yes.
We're nearing halfway.
We're getting there.
Five away. My math was a little off.
Yep. All right. It's all right. we rely on our technology, our tickers to relay this information.
Not often I have to pull out the old mental pen and paper.
Yep, exactly. Interesting note, Ben Park was the only guy that came down for Vegas last night. So see if there was some strategy play in that.
The iRacing.com safety vehicle will find its safety down in the pit lane. The field in the hands of Bo Brady. Green flag. Back in the air. Saw crazy moments and truck around. It's the pole sitter. Kyle Johnson in trouble.
Lane Doyle, Kyle Johnson, they were 3 wide coming off 4 and just ran out of room. And then in an unrelated incident, the 88 got spun around in turn 1. That's going to be the more intriguing of the 2 incidents to me. But that first one was just a 3 wide off 4. Not going to have that much room there.
Well, the funny part about that, JB, is they're all together here on the replay.
Yeah, I mean, we had this giant stack up, and it kind of bundled everybody up. And oh yeah, just right there. But then the 88 was around somehow, and
so
you saw him there
at the top of the
in front
screen.
Of these guys.
He makes contact with Flanagan here.
Oh, that's what it was.
See here. Flanagan gets the wall, comes off the wall.
Whoa.
Into the 88.
Interesting. Well, I also want to go back and look at that restart, Emerson. Did the 9 truck change lanes before the start-finish line? It sure looked like it. I don't know if admins have looked at it.
I also thought the 90 did on an earlier restart, but we'll see here. Here's the replay of the restart. And we'll run this at half speed. It fires off there. And all it has to do is before the finish line and, well.
Yeah.
You tell me.
Because if you look at everybody behind Bodler, Bodler's in line. So, you know, you can't make the argument that the line shifts. I mean, he did get all the way clear, but you still have to maintain your line. Because it changes your entry angle to 1.
Well, he clearly is in front of the outside lane, but they were also down on the track, you know. I don't know, but he did definitely jump in front of the 2 completely.
Yeah. And admins in putting the message out, they're gonna watch this pretty closely. Now, they've warned the drivers about this, that they've seen it a couple times, and they've now said that they're gonna start calling the penalty on it when they see it. We have a few things in our rulebook, Emerson, that are kind of there, but they're loosely patrolled. You know, there's a lot of subjectiveness in that. We let iRacing control a lot of the penalties, things like that. But when you start to see things like that, and drivers start to point out those changes, things like that, whether it's lagging back on the restart, changing lanes like that. If admins catch on to it, they're going to really be watching it closely. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're really strict about this next restart, making sure everybody stays in line.
Well, that's intriguing.
And the whole point about it is avoiding incident.
Right.
You know, you change it before the start-finish line. That usually leads to some chaos.
I say last week, Drake Carty was the recipient of a restart violation. Now, his did trigger an incident. This one did not directly cause an incident, so intriguing there. But that, I believe that's the second time I have seen it, and we will get a warning here. But there's still half the race to go, so you know, still plenty of time for this race to be decided. But very intriguing.
And on that, you were talking about the Carty one from last week. That was a lagging back.
Correct.
Drivers since week 2 have been briefed on that pre-race every race. So admins were really watching that one more than they were the lane changes. But you know, once they let the drivers know that they're looking for it, it's your job as a driver to make sure that you're abiding by the rules and maybe doing a little bit extra to make sure you don't break them. We've seen it in NASCAR before with the double line rule. That's probably one of their more subjective rules we've seen. And when they come out looking a little closer at it, we've affected the finishing results of some races.
That it has, and we are now just under halfway from figuring out the finishing results of this race as the iRacing.com safety vehicle finds its safety down in the pit lane. Well, Brady spools them back up. We're racing again from Richmond. Will Brady leads James Shane Wolf trying to clear to second, and he does. Baldler under heavy pressure now. Andrew Harris, Drake Carty in a mixed contact. Carty bangs off the side of the 87.
Already very aggressive on this restart.
Again! Into the 87. Sideways!
Oh! Wow.
What a catch from Kyle Spees. Now he uses the 5 as a little bit of a save there. And Aiden King, by the way, back into the mix as well. He's going 3 wide.
Unfortunately, we're not hockey. You don't get a point for an assist. There's an assist on that last one there. Keeping that truck straight. But we saw Carty. He shot it 3 wide on that restart. Got a couple positions from it, but I don't think he's made friends in the process. This is all we've seen to this point so far.
He hasn't. And Andrew Harris nearly off the nose of the 90 there. Aiden King is, he wants to go to the front regardless if you're his friend or not.
Yeah, he's trying to get back up there. Now heating up back up front. Shane Wolf has caught the 9.
Yep.
He's hot in pursuit of him. Father will gladly sit back here and watch. Oh,
hot heavy. Truck around.
48.
Shane Ledoux. 8th caution on the
another incident on that last restart as well. And this one looks like it actually spun him all the way around. I thought we were about to settle in there for a minute.
This is the third incident.
Mind if we're at a short track?
Third incident for our pole sitter, Al Johnson. Just barely gets the 12.
Man.
Just barely.
Yeah. These corner exits are tough, man, because if you're getting a little bit of loose, you have to get off the gas. If somebody's right behind you like that, there's just no time. I mean, and it looks like the 12 was a little loose coming off the corner anyway. And that's probably what happened there. I don't actually know if these two made contact, if it was just the fact that
wow.
Maybe a little bit. Netco probably assisted, I'd imagine, but that's you see that a lot at Richmond. These trucks.
Yeah, you do. Yes, you do.
Practice was very active right there. same thing, you know, a truck right behind another and loose on corner exit and just ends them around. I mean, luckily on the front stretch you have all that grass there, so no harm, no foul for the 12. You don't want to necessarily do that off of 2 because that backstretch wall is right there to greet you when you go spinning inside.
Daniel Park gets another lap back here. He will join the lead lap.
Yeah, he was the first truck a lap down. We only have one more truck that's 1 down. That's Spencer Brown. Everybody else multiple laps down. We still have quite a few trucks on the racetrack, it looks like.
Let's see here. We
there are 32 trucks currently on the racetrack. Robert Vick is the only one not showing on the racing surface. So even though we've had a fair share of incidents this evening, we've kind of seen a little bit of everything. We still have 32 out of 33 trucks running, approaching 100 laps.
And that's something that is synonymous with these short tracks. You're not racing speeds as high as you do at other tracks. Less impacts that would knock some drivers out of the race, and you're seeing that come to fruition tonight. 8th caution of the night, and still have another couple laps. So we are working lap 99 of 175, and JB, with this, we are again 3 races away. This is the third to last race of the year, of the calendar year. But we are 8 races away from the playoffs.
Yep,
Counting
we're getting
tonight.
down to it. So yeah,
we are actually this is the halfway.
At the rate we're getting new winners, you know, they're going to be drivers that make it in on points. And so you're already starting to think about that a little bit. And we have drivers who haven't won a race but have been killing it on points. And so those are the guys that are feeling a little bit better. Now, everybody does get those 2 drop weeks as well. And those will start to be after tonight. So pretty much after tonight's race, you know, we have a couple weeks off here. These guys are going to have a really good feel on where they stand getting into the final run before the playoffs. We still have throwback week coming up. We got an exciting little area of races here. We have the All-Star event right before the end of the year. It's we might not have a lot of official races in the next 2 months, but there's a lot going on around here.
That's for sure, and there's been a lot going on the track tonight, as it has been a fierce competition tonight here from the Richmond Raceway. But as the iRacing.com safety vehicle finds its safety down in the pit lane, Wilberty leads, 75 laps to go. Racing resumes round one, Richmond Raceway. Shane Wolf and Baldler go to work for a second. It's Harris trying to stay to the outside of the 2 machine and trucks around.
Adam Capps, David Flanagan, Justin Smith involved in this one.
Mark Person, Vickery, Sean Long involved. See what
I
happens.
heard there's a few unhappy drivers about this one.
Yeah.
We'll see what we see here.
Big Sen, 4, 5, and 6. And 4, 5, and 6 never see 7, 8, and 9.
Yeah. I mean, the 4 drove it in there hard, but nothing egregious. The 5 just decided. 5 was just going to run a little bit lower, and I don't know if the 4 wasn't equating that. And unfortunately for Justin in the 6, innocent bystander, absolutely nothing he could have done there.
A little bit of net code.
Yeah.
But,
you see that get into the corner here a little bit. Because these trucks just going different directions, and iRacing trying to predict where they're going to be. Not a perfect science, unfortunately. Jeffrey Vickery involved in another incident.
Yeah, so Vickery, Sean Long, and Mark Person were all slated as involved in this incident. I want to see why they were tagged in this incident.
Vickery, he might have got some damage
Vickery hits
behind
the wall. Sean Long and Mark Person.
And the 77 comes up behind the 51 at some point. But...
Oh, so Vickery just stops. Person stops. Where does Sean Long get in this one?
Yeah,
I
mean,
he just also stops as well. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like they all just come to a stop, which, like we said at the beginning of the show, probably the best thing you can do. Just stay out of the mess. I mean, that probably a little bit more aggressive of a move than I would have made with 75 laps left, but unfortunately, another product of short track racing.
Yeah,
these guys up front want to see this leg out a little bit, but the guys behind him aren't helping him with that endeavor.
I wouldn't have made the move Adam made there, but I don't fault him for it at all. It's
I mean, it wasn't
a lot
egregious.
of stop and go.
I mean,
yeah,
we've seen guys send it in there, and yes, he was getting in there heavy, but was still had his truck under control the whole time.
Yeah,
so,
and netcode had the biggest say in that one.
Which unfortunately, when it comes to netcode, you just have to nod your head and accept it if it happened, because there's really not much you can do about it.
Got a moment here. Want to shout out some of our partners here at Speed Racing Network. Want to shout out, of course, the series namesake in HairClub. Take control of your hair loss at HairClub. Their total hair solutions can help you keep, regrow, or restore your hair. Speak with their hair loss specialists today and make sure you use code SRN10 to save 10% off of your HairClub order. Premier Racing Setups is the longest running setup shop on iRacing. Established in 2016, they offer many different options to help take your sim racing career to the highest levels of iRacing. With over 50,000 customers worldwide, they have got the tools you need to compete with the best sim racers iRacing has to offer. And make sure you use code SPEEDNETWORK15 to to save 15% off of your Premier Racing Setups order. And a shout out to Adminbox and ThermoPro. Adminbox, make sure you use code SRN-box, that's BOXX, for 10% off of your Adminbox purchases. And ThermoPro, make sure you use code ThermoProTeam for 15% off of your purchases. Getting ready to do battle once again here from the Richmond Raceway is Bo Brady and James Shane Wolf as the iRacing.com safety vehicle finds its safety down the pit lane. Green flag back in the air. Bo Brady clears it. Shane Wolf and Baldler second and third. And Cardi trying to make some noise. Nearly into the side of the 87 goes the 59.
Cardi's not done making himself known.
Oh, and he is into the side of the 87. And the 90 goes round. Into the heart of the field. Ben Park involved. Back up the track goes the 90. Into Wally Babb. Michael Sidor contacts through. And the 10th stoppage in action on tonight's race.
Well, I mean,
wow.
I said it. I said he wasn't done. I didn't expect that to be the next move, honestly. For a large majority, these guys did a really good job avoiding the 90 sideways. I actually don't think Michael Sidor hit anything in that wreck somehow. We might take a look at that here in a minute, but huh.
This one was big.
Yeah. I mean, Andrew Harris didn't have a chance in that corner. And we've seen Andrew get like pushed in this corner multiple times over 59. You know, once from the side, once from the rear, kind of all over the place. And then that time, I mean, the 87 was already sideways by the time he got into the corner.
Yeah, Andrew Harris was a passenger for this incident.
And then, yeah, unfortunately, the 90 just bottled up in this as well. Pretty good look at it right here. I mean, 87's got to make a corner. I mean, that's just what I see there.
I agree.
I mean, 87 doesn't have to run the bottom, so there's that. But, I mean, that's naturally where you start to turn into the corner anyway. So, I don't know if the 59 was just wanting to run a different lane. I mean, you got to know the 87's there. And the unfortunate part for the 59 is, you know, it bottles his teammate up in this incident as well. Good look at it here.
So they first made contact here in the 1 and 2 Cardi up the track. Actually, they don't make contact, but they do make contact down here.
There. Lots of trucks in front of them. Watch CD7. I mean, maybe a touch early, but you know, I would think you're leaving a little bit more room. Wally Babb just barely. I think
Connor
86 did avoid it there.
Facing the inside wall there.
Yeah. Meanwhile, up front, while we're looking at replay still, there was split strategy on the pit lane, so we'll let this cycle out and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, let's see who we can see on the pit lane. We Bo Brady did pit.
Yep, he was the first one down. Baldler chose to stay out. And Shane Wolf stayed out as well, so those two will cycle 1, 2. And so it looks like it's cycling right now. So from 15th on back, road, the top 14, so Shane Wolf down to Spencer Brown. That looks like all right. Everybody that came down there took 4 tires, and it was 15th on back. Some guys are coming down a second time. It's just looks like damage.
So the top 13 will be virtual sitting ducks here to Bo Brady and the rest of the crowd. Now, how much longer do you if you go maybe another 20, 30 laps, you can maybe justify coming down putting on a set of tires then. But you know, I don't know if you want to put yourself in that kind of track position. That might have been the biggest opportunity to come down and put on tires. So we'll see how it plays out.
Yep. We'll see. I think you need a longer run for that strategy to work, but we'll see.
James Shane, Daniel Baldwin, Scott Kalal, Lane Doyle with Sean Merriman, the top 5. Green flag. Back in the air from Richmond. 115, 175. Truck sideways in the back. That was Jeffrey Vickery, and his machine is still going forward. They're going down the running order.
And the thing about pitting there with the 9, that puts yourself in a position on track you don't want to be. Right here in the middle of all this.
Ledoux hits the wall hard.
There's the 9 right there. You know, you were just out front looking at a clean racetrack. Now you worry about what's happening in front of you. And there we go.
Hard impact for Andrew Harris into the outside wall. Shane Ledoux out there as well, and it is the 11th stoppage in action tonight. Big hit for Andrew Harris. Saw that hit live. And let's get the full story.
Man. I don't think you got a lot of damage there, but that's the risk you have when pitting. Giving up all that track position.
And there's a lot going on back here, JB. You'll see it right up there. Ledoux gets the wall.
Gets full action there in the back.
Yeah. Then they both get sideways. Brady and Harris doesn't, but Harris up the track trying to avoid Brady, and Ledoux comes off the wall.
Ledoux comes down.
Wow. And Andrew Harris takes a head-on impact. And I don't care what track you're at. Head-on into the outside wall is no bueno. Right on board with Andrew Harris here. Tries to go through the middle of 2 struggling trucks. And he gets hooked. Wow. Well.
Admins have their hand full.
It's
hands full a little bit.
It's been a busy evening. I don't envy Jim Walton and Jack Johnson over there.
I mean, luckily for them though, a lot of these incidents have been just racing deals. I mean, we haven't seen a lot of stuff super egregious. We've seen some aggressive moves. Nothing outlandish, nothing wild. Some of the guys now are starting to reach on the incident point level where you have to have a drive-through. So once you get 17 incident points, it's an automatic drive-through. So we have some guys kind of getting right up in that area, which is not something we've dealt with yet this season because we just haven't had super high incident point totals, for certain individuals. And we have 235 total incident points throughout the entire field right now. If anybody was curious on what that number looks like. But then when you see we got 33 trucks at Richmond, it doesn't really surprise you that much.
Richmond in itself is quite a beast. I mean, I know we had 9 at Iowa, 9 cautions, but it just didn't feel like this. This is...
Yeah, I mean, outside that one run. Yeah, outside that one run we had that went, what was it, 45-ish laps, maybe.
Which was fantastic, by the way.
Longer. Yeah, great racing. And it proves that these guys can do it, but there's just some moves out there that are happening that just maybe not the right time and place for them. And the other issue we've run into is a lot of the incidents have been guys kind of near the back of the field a little bit that just over the course of the night just haven't been able to get comfortable with this track and the truck. Unfortunately, it's kind of limiting the racing as a whole, but these guys up front aren't done battling, but That's where we've seen the good, clean battles for the win, and that's what it's going to come down to here. We have some hungry drivers up front, and some drivers who maybe missed a couple races, but a win gets them in the playoffs. So you look at somebody like Bodler, he's missed a couple races, but if he finishes the regular season out, he still has enough to be eligible for the playoffs. So a win here goes a long way for him, because otherwise he would not be able to make it out on points for this race.
I said a name last restart that caught me off guard a little bit. Sean Merriman.
Yeah.
Inside the top 5.
We saw a great avoidance earlier in one of the previous incidents, and that truck looks pretty clean.
Papa Sean's.
Papa Sean's. I like that.
Daytona race winner Chris Latrone was outside.
Yeah, Chris Latrone had a good run tonight. We talked about him much. He's having a great time.
So that's row 3. Row 1 is Shane Wolf Bodler. Doyle Kalal lane, row 2. Green flag back in the air. Laps to go from Richmond. Lane Doyle rising to the occasion. He wants to snag his 3rd victory on the season right now, trying to clear Baldwin for 2nd.
Around.
Oh, Drake Carty.
Around near the back. Ooh,
Godinez in trouble.
Outside wall hard. Sean Long, I believe that was. I was just about to say, man, another race, another week. All of a sudden, Lane Doyle right here again. Not surprised there, but Godinez went for kind of a ride here. Sean Long ended up getting the wall pretty hard late. That could be terminal for that vehicle.
The initial name you said there was Carty, which you said Carty Godinez, so teammates here, if that's the case.
Sideways, and then I saw this spinning through the turn, which was the 88.
Oh, Brady gets in the Carty.
Yep. Good job, everybody else.
Oh, there's
a big hit from Sean Long.
Yeah, there's where Sean Long gets involved.
Everybody else does a really good job there, though. Especially when you have a truck crossing the racetrack in the middle of the field like the 88 was. That can sometimes be big. Who was that first truck that missed it? That was impressive. I have to go back and take a look. Oh, yeah, that's a hard hit.
Yeah.
I don't think he really got out of the gas.
I don't know.
I have to go back and look at that initial. There was a truck right behind the 88 that somehow did not hit him.
Kyle Johnson or Stall. Took it over a look at it.
Truck is all that I saw, but we've praised the good avoidances this evening. And I was about to praise another one. Oh, that's Cunningham.
Oh, Connor, yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
Takes you there.
Yeah, we've seen Connor do that a few times this season. Not what he wants to see in front of him every week, but he does a good job missing him for the most part. They might have not hit the 88. Good job by Connor.
So, 49 laps to go under our 12th full course caution on the evening. It's James Shane Wolf who leads, Lane Doyle, Daniel Baldler, Scott Kalaw, Sean Merriman, Dalton McKenney, Chris Luttrell, Kyle Spees, Bo Brady, and Connor Cunningham. The top 10. For all that, he's still in the 10th position. Matthew Greathouse finds himself 11th. Ben Park 12th. Kyle Johnson in 13th. Aiden King. Our outside, well, actually our front row is right there, 14th and 15th. 16th is Spencer Brown. 17th, Corey Stahl. Shane Ledoux will find himself 18th. Jeffrey Vickery 19th. Michael Sidor, the top 20. Daniel Park, 21st. Jason Kratke at the moment, 22nd. Dylan Godinez, 23rd. Andrew Harris, 24th. Justin Smith, 25th. Adam Capps, 26th, and last truck on the lead lap. Mark Person, I believe, is 2 laps down and 27th.
Yep.
Sean Corcoran is 29th, or 30th, but excuse me, but he'll be 28th in about 6 or 7 laps time. Austin Long, 31st. And James Shane Wolf leads us back to green. James Shane Wolf leads. Scott Kalal turned across into the outside wall. And Kyle Spees is going round into the heart of the field.
Oh no.
Matthew Greathouse, Jason Kratke, Michael Sidor.
Not sure what happened.
Oh, big wreck on the back straightaway.
There's just a mess. The 36 went around quickly, so I gather he had some help. We saw was that the 23 of Kalal?
Yeah.
That licked the outside wall. Looks like he might have got some help from somebody as well.
This entire lap was carnage.
And I was just about to say, whoo, we made it through a lap and everybody's doing all right. And then,
Yeah, I mean, everything just about went wrong.
I mean, outside the top 5, everybody else is losing their mind here. So let's take a look.
So yeah, Scott Kalal.
46, that helps Scott Kalal. That's right here.
Yeah, just contact there. Speeds tries to take avoiding action, drives to the side of the 18, and gets into Connor and...
Dang. But this...
Oh!
Whoa.
Kyle
I think that's what happened on the backstretch.
That's not a move I usually see from Kyle Spees. Of all the drivers to not hold their brakes after an incident, Kyle Spees is not one I would expect to see Avad. Maybe just a lapse in judgment, but wow.
Yeah, and maybe just didn't know anybody else was coming. I thought that was the last driver. Or not.
There was more.
Look at Connor. He's, again, having to run right outside the top 5 on his way up. And he gets involved in somebody else's business again. Merriman does a good job keeping it straight. He could have been that pretty heavy.
Where does this happen? Oh, Kalal gets into Great House.
Yeah.
And pounds into Aiden King.
90.
It's not everyone though. There was
some reason they're not done here.
Yeah, there's
the 6s got hit by the 86.
I think they just stop.
I think that could have been just them stopping and one getting to the other, which the accordion effect is how always is a factor in that. Happens.
So there's Kyle Spees spinning.
Ooh,
oh my god. Michael Sidor used the brake pedal. My goodness. Oh, and he gets hooked.
Oh, and then he gets hit.
And oh no.
Okay. Well, we got a lot going on here.
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh boy.
That was not what I was expecting. We'll take a look overhead for Michael Sidor.
Sidor gets into he wants to get all up in there, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, Vickery.
Oh, Vickery. That might have been.
I don't know. That's
entirely
by accident.
And then, yeah. He had him locked up. Nothing he could have done there.
Oh my goodness! What didn't happen?
Emerson, I guess. I mean, we watch a lot of racing up together. That was a wreck that seemed like went on a half race. I think it pretty much did.
Yeah, that was a good half lap of wrecking. That is not a move I expect from Kyle Spees, man. That is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you always teach to hold the brake there.
Yeah.
To avoid other incidents, but
again, he's one of the cleanest drivers. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, and that didn't seem to really be part of the actual problem.
Yeah.
It could have been for sure. Cracky could have taken a pretty hard hit there. That would have happened. A little bit more contact between them. All right. John Merriman did a good job because that was the truck that Kyle Speed was kind of sliding into on that corner entry, and it's easy to go around with him, but held the wheel straight and maintains his track position, so he was able to hang on to P4. So talked a little bit about Sean Merriman earlier, but he's still having a good run tonight.
Unfortunately, though, that takes the track position out of, well, not only Kyle Speed's Connor Cunningham, who was up inside the top 10 as well. He is knocked down, and many more, as the iRacing.com safety vehicle finds him safety down the pit lane. Green flag for the 14th time tonight. 39 laps to go. Wall, the caution comes back out. 14th stoppage in action, and there was a red truck hard into the outside wall. Drake Carty, I believe, involved.
Well, good thing the replay screen is still up, because we're going to need it again.
Well,
Emerson's predicting the future over here. He goes, you don't need to see any more of this. Yeah, Carty, Brady, Kalal, Luttrell.
We'll get the whole restart, but yeah, this was... Carty was lagging a little bit, gets into Luttrell.
Oh, boy. Kyle Johnson.
Well, you know what? I think... Oh, my
goodness.
So I think what's happening... Carty is in and
Carty's
out
having connection issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's just getting hit like he's not there.
I think the blinking just caused him to spawn in different... You see him still having connection issues. I think the blinking just caused him to spawn. And when a truck disappears, you don't stop driving because you don't want to give up time, but all of a sudden that truck can reappear, and that causes issues. And that's kind of what it looked like happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see him disappear. That's just a connection thing. And so then all of a sudden he ends up middle of 3, but nobody knows that.
Yeah, nobody can see him here.
Yeah, and then...
Oh my gosh, Shane Ledoux.
Bounces off the wall there, and then Great House doesn't know where he is, and...
It's in Adam Caps.
It's...
Carnage everywhere.
You know, there's not a lot of worse feelings than just a truck spinning in front of you, and all of a sudden he's gone. Because he could reappear right, like, inside your hood. And that is the worst possible situation.
This is the restart we missed. We'll start clean up front. And then there's the incident.
Yeah, I would say that was a connection issue.
Oh, didn't even show it that time.
We didn't need that there.
This is the restart. Got it. Yes, we're showing it.
Yes.
Third time's a charm for this restart.
Long night for everybody here.
14th time might be the charm for these guys.
Daniel's doing a good job on all these restarts too, just getting out to a really solid lead. We like to blame connection and things like that all the time, but that's one of those where it's that's actually what happened there.
Yeah, that was truly connection trouble. Just in a terrible spot on the restart, up inside the top 5 on the running order, and yeah. Unfortunately, because of that, I think Kyle Johnson also suffered a good bit of damage as a result.
Yeah, and he was already hurting a little bit.
Yeah.
Dalton McKinney, Chris Luttrell, 2 of our drivers who have reached their incident point threshold, they're going to be issued drive-through penalty.
Dalton McKinney, my goodness, man, he's had a rough day. That truck looks clean, but man, well, I guess if you turn it around, it doesn't. But he's had his good bit. Chris Luttrell, we haven't really called his name as starting the incident today. He's been just involved.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't been the forefront of any issues at all, and has run a pretty good race at this point, but has obviously been in contact with enough things. And that's not really a penalty admin clear either, because kind of like iRacing.
Yeah. What sucks.
You can always ask. You can always argue it.
Yeah.
We'll see if Jim has any grace on you.
Doubt it, as the iRacing.com safety vehicle finds its safety down in the pit lane. Green flag back in the air. Shane Wolf, Doyle Merriman, Kalal Luttrell. Chris Luttrell makes it to pit lane to serve his drive-through penalty. And Dalton McKinney, you mentioned the other, has not been able to make it to the bottom of the racetrack yet.
Back up top. You see the 2 truck coming through here. Bodler pitted. He's on new tires. He's trying to climb back up through this thing.
Man. And McKinney can't even get down to the bottom.
Yeah, I don't know how many laps that had to let him go before.
There he goes.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Dan, I mean, he's just trying to get to the bottom.
McKinney finally making it down to the apron to serve his penalty.
Don't hate Bodler's move here, though, because if you settle into something nice here, 30 laps is a considerable run, and he's going to have much fresher tires than these guys that have a few heat cycles.
A few is
yeah, and I don't think that's a bad thing. Honestly, I just not something I was thinking of at that time. We were so focused on the random odds and ends of these incidents that.
By the way, Bo Brady is up here. He is on 45 lap fresher tires than the 2 drivers in front of him. Bo Brady is. Now, you know how many of those laps are green? I don't know, but it's still much fresher tires for Bo Brady. And this is interesting where McKinney comes out right into the heart of these leaders. King gets to the side of the 46. Merriman to the outside, 3 wide. McKinney trying not to wreck. Godinez wisely backs out.
Then he disappeared.
Oh no. All the while, Kyle Johnson's trying to make it through. Chaos behind Corey Stalls. All sorts of sideways, nearly into Daniel Baldwin.
We got trucks all over the place. Spencer Brown was almost spun on the apron. Yeah, this is, we got all kinds of stuff.
The whole track
no
is
shortage
being
of action
used.
here. Yeah.
No shortage of action tonight.
I mean, the 46 is appearing out there. Hearing he's not being scored actively. This could be related to the penalty. I don't know.
Luttrell's not being scored?
There. No, the 46.
McKinney's not on the track. So I think he's had a connectivity issue. Other than that, why would you serve a penalty and then come out onto the track just to leave?
Yeah, I don't know either. Let's follow up on that. Adler's making it around up here. He's gotten already back in the top 10. Ben Park there. Looks like 9th place.
Yeah, Park. He was in a few of these incidents as well.
Yeah.
Sean Merriman having a nice run, trying to stay in front of Luttrell, the lap truck.
Yep, so he's just a lap down. So maintaining a good pace though. Currently in the Lucky Dog position. You haven't ever stop it. Lane Doyle though, every week Emerson seems like you get down to the end of these races, almost on the 47 trucks there, and that's why he has the points. I mean, it's every week we're having this discussion. He's not leaving the 14 up here.
And by the way, Cardi having trouble today, JB, is going to be huge for that advantage Lane Doyle has going into the break if Lane Doyle can stay up here. So he's closing the gap. He's within 0.2 of a second of James Shanewolf, but how aggressive will Doyle be? You know Lane Doyle is one of the few who will not get physical for a victory.
Yeah, I mean, if there's an example of respectful driver in the field, it is Lane Doyle. He thinks twice before he makes any move. And, you know, but he can sit there and wait for the 14 to make a mistake. I just think Shanewolf is such a good driver that it's not going to be easy. I'm not going to say anything about me picking him because we're not done here yet. But Emerson, your pick is on his way up. Just cleared Sean Merriman for 7.
Yeah, I mean, what Baller wanted right now is to stay green, to keep making up these spots.
Yeah. those fresh tires, they're doing a lot of good right now because he's got that advantage, but they stop doing a lot of good if we rack them back up. So, I mean, if you look at lap times too, last time he ran a 22.410. Leader ran a 22.65. You know, with 20 to go, I mean,
that's 15 laps to make up 3 seconds.
I mean, that's possible.
You've got 5 laps to go if he can blow by everyone quickly.
Yeah, that's the key. He's got to get by these guys in front of him efficiently. If anybody holds him up, that's gonna halt that progress big time. We just should see what Bo Brady does here because he was really fast earlier. He's now hitched onto the back of these front two, and
you see that's what I'm saying with Bo Brady. I don't know if he took tires, but he has 45 lap pressure tires. And
I think he did, but you're just seeing the heat cycle difference.
Yeah.
I think if we weren't talking about the heat cycle difference, 45 lap pressure tires, he would have been here, there, and gone.
Yeah.
But you know, he got a few restarts on him, heat him up, slow him down. He could have slid him in a couple of those instances as well. He's gone close to the field possible. And that hurts your tires.
That it will. Big battle here. Papa Sean's heading Ben Park and Matthew Greathouse.
Just hard on the backside of the top 10.
Yep.
I don't think 10th means a lot to these guys, but talking about end of the season awards and points.
A lot of these guys, 10th place would be a win tonight, man.
Oh, yeah.
Big battle here. Godinez, like King, and Baldler. On a blanket.
Baldler's got to get by these guys in a hurry if he wants a shot at it. Laps here quick down in a hurry.
I think Baldler now, he wants to get by Godinez and maybe he'll put one of those yellows.
Yeah. Baldler just didn't have the short run pace that I think if we get a yellow, it's really going to help him all that much. I think he's going to need a little bit more. But now you're starting to see that tire difference. I mean, he's just able to keep that truck on the inside lane nice and high, get a good one off. Making passes look somewhat easy. They need to pull them up a little bit here. I think another good set of points. Olsen or Kyle Johnson just in front of these guys. We've seen a little bit of everywhere this evening.
Yeah.
It's still running in the top 5.
That man started on the pole, and he was pretty much last on lap 1, and he is now in 4th.
Yep. So he has found a way to just work his way on up through there. I mean, yeah, the truck looks a little worse for the wear, but doesn't matter. Top 5 runs, good run.
So far, so clean up front. Everyone's kind of gotten to their own point now where they're all running on their own, not really impeded by anyone else.
Yeah, and outside of Jason Krack, you see that purple truck they're going around right there. I don't believe the leaders will get back to the next group of lap traffic. We have the 77, 36, a little group running kind of a quarter track ahead. I don't think they'll get there before the end of the race, but it might be real close, so that could play a factor in this. We'll keep an eye on those distances.
$11 laps to go from Richmond. James Shane Wolf trying to get his first win on the season. He has a 0.4 of a second advantage over Lane Doyle as the laps continue to click down here at Richmond. A big send from Lane Doyle into turn 1, trying to diamond the corner exit off. Not a whole lot doing there.
O'Brady, Daniel Baldler, they're your fastest trucks on the track right now. Both about a 10th quicker than everybody else in the top 5.
Can they do anything about it?
O'Brady might be able to make that work. Baldler's going to need more than a 10th a lap.
Brady has halved his deficit to Shane Wolf. It was a second. It's now half a second. And now Kyle Johnson and Daniel Baldler are doing battle for second. Baldler, big send on the 48.
Yeah, Baldler knows if he wants to have any effect on the finish of the podium here, he's going to have to get by Kyle pretty quick.
8 laps
not
to
make
go.
It easy.
You know, I don't think time has just ran out yet for Baldler. I think there's still some time, still a glimmer of hope.
Here's him. Okay. So now these front 3 start battling. That's what the 2 want.
Yeah. Now we're talking.
Now we're getting somewhere. Hold on.
7 laps to go. Call it 5 trucks under a blanket.
Bobler 3/10 faster than the leader last time by, and that was while passing the 48. So, we're not done here. But there's 2 trucks standing between the 2 and the leader, and that can be the difference. We might get to the lap traffic of Austin DeLong. He's currently about a half a straightaway in front of our leader.
Shane Wolf loving every bit of what's going on in his mirror. Brady trying to get to the inside of Doyle. Brady sideways out of 2. Baldler closing the gap. He wants to leave his mark on this podium. Sends it down to the inside of the 9. Can he throttle up out of 4? Not yet. 5 to go.
All right, now time is starting to become an issue.
Yeah.
For Baldler.
5 laps, 3 trucks. Very, very difficult.
Definitely what Shane Wolf wants to see. I don't think the 9's going to keep giving the 2 the bottom.
Oh, that might be a wave.
Baldler says, no, you don't give me the bottom. I'm going to use the apron.
He'll take the bottom. 4 to go.
Don't be inside of our corner entry. Got to make this quick if you want a shot.
Baldler's got to clear up. Park the bus.
Park the bus. He parks the bus.
And Brady trying to
clears the bus.
get back there. Baldler to 3rd. Hits the apron.
DeLong up top here.
Uh-oh, hard into the wall.
Yeah, I think he's going to be out of the way by the time Baldler gets there.
Gonna have to be. Baldler's gonna make you out of the way.
Yeah, well, there's that. Austin doesn't really give up the position necessarily, but
now it might be too little too late for Baldler to win.
Yeah. Unless these front 2 get entangled, I think it's gonna be a battle between James Shane Wolf and Wayne Doyle on this one.
Well, 1.5 miles left to settle it tonight. Here from the Commonwealth of Virginia, it has been an absolutely chaotic evening with 14 full course cautions tonight, altering the order of tonight's race, but now we have made it to the white flag. No more cautions. This race is official, and Lane Doyle closes that gap. Is there one last hoorah from the 47? He closes the gap. Can he send it into 3? To no avail. James Shane Wolf, for the first time this season, is going to win at Richmond.
Also want to put out there, Emerson, this is super impressive. James Shane Wolf, Daniel Baldler finished this race 0 incident points. And those are the 2 we talked about pre-race when we were coming to the green. You know, those were our guys. We're like, man, these guys on these kind of tracks are just really good. And they not only show it in pace, they show it in their actions as well. Come away with 0 incident points on an absolutely chaotic race is very impressive. And that also carries a very important bonus point.
And it does. James Shane Wolf, for the first time in a long time, notches himself a victory here in SRN. Then the misses. Lane Doyle, I believe, was also maybe getting some burnouts. Oh, there he is. Oh, they're teammates.
Teammates,
Oh,
yeah. So they had a big
week.
week. They added a teammate, Adam Capps joining in the number 4 truck, and then they became a team that's won multiple races this year now with the 47 and 14 both winning, and so they're guaranteed to have at least 2 trucks in the playoff.
They're now also a team that's down 2 motors.
Yeah. Hey, that's a good byproduct to winning.
Well, we are gonna find out how to talk to our race winner this evening, driver of the number 14 of James Shane Wolf. We dig down and we go find our race winner for the first time this season. And James, you got to remind me how long it's been since you gotten yourself an SRN victory, but you returned to action this season. It took 9 races, but you are in victory lane tonight as a HairClub Truck Series winner.
Yep, finally. It's been long enough for the old trophies to get cobwebs on them, man. It's been a while since I've been up here, so it feels good to finally to get one under the belt there. And I couldn't have done it without Lane there, my teammate. He definitely could have pushed the issue a little bit harder than what he did, and I can't thank him enough for not doing that, not putting too much pressure on me there at the end.
I also want to thank you for not keeping the broadcaster's curse a thing. I picked you right before the green flag, and I was concerned there for a second because your opening stint to the race, you were kind of in the hornet's nest. But then once you saw that clean track in front of you, you did a good job of controlling it. We noticed that, some of these guys chose to play a little bit of strategy, come get a set of tires, your Bo Brady's, your Daniel Bodlers. What went into your decision to stay out there and keep that track position?
Well, honestly, I turned down like I was gonna go in, trying to get Bo to pit. And I was hoping he would be the only one because I couldn't get around him on the restarts. And then I realized a bunch of guys went with him, and I was like, uh-oh. I didn't know how bad the fall off was going to be. I knew we hadn't ran too many green flag laps. I was hoping even on the older tires there I was able to hold them off. And we had really good long run pace, like you just said, like when we had that long green flag stint. So I wasn't super concerned, but it was definitely on the top of my mind worrying about the pressure tires coming into play and being able to get us right there at the end. Like I said, if it wasn't for having Lane between us, they may have been able to get to me. I'm not sure. I know Lane didn't want to give up second either, so it's hard to say.
Well, James, you're going into a double off week here with your first victory on the season. This is also going to boost you up in points. I know you missed the race, so that was already keeping you a little lower in points. But that win that's going to lock you into the playoffs is going to improve your overall standing in the regular season points. A lot has come off your plate at this point of the season, just about halfway through the regular season, James. So what's the plan next before the playoffs?
Well, I'm going to enjoy the 2-week break first and foremost. I'm going to celebrate tonight and drink a beer or two. But no, it takes a lot of weight off your shoulders being locked in, because then really you can take these next, what is it, 6-7 weeks, and really try things. You can kind of start preparing for the playoffs, practicing for the playoffs, just get through these next few races, and hopefully have a leg up once you get to the playoff races. But yeah, it takes so much off your plate, man, because you can try different strategies, you can try different things. Even like with the Roval coming up, I love road courses, but the Roval is not one of my good tracks. So now we can go to the Roval. I don't have to worry about anything but finishing the race. That helps so much. It makes it so much more enjoyable when that's all you have to do.
Absolutely, James. Well, congratulations on your first win in the HairClub Truck Series this season, and best luck to you, I guess, now in the playoffs, but best luck to you in the coming weeks. Have a great couple weeks off, man.
Yeah, man, real quick, can I shout out my sponsors?
Absolutely.
Go for it.
Shout out to Alex to Save You Time there in South Hill, Virginia. The Exxon station there off exit 12B on 85. So if y'all are ever driving through Virginia for anything on 85, make sure y'all stop there, get you a ice cold beverage, fill your truck up, fill your car up, whatever you're driving. Shout out to Adam Capps. He made his debut tonight, had a pretty solid run considering all the adversity he had to battle with Elite Entertainment. Brian Easler Electric, he came on board this season on a whim. John at Nifty Lift as well, he came on board again this season. Just he's seen us talking about it one night, was like, oh, I want to get in on that. So shout out to him. Drew at Transcendent Designs, and everybody here behind the scenes at SRN, you guys here on the broadcast. It takes a lot to make this whole show go on, and y'all do it the right way, in my opinion. So that's what keeps the folks coming back. That's what keeps the car counts high, and man, I can't thank y'all enough for letting me come back in here and have some fun with you boys.
Absolutely, James. We appreciate it. It sounds like it's a home victory for save you time. So celebrate
Yes,
hard
sir.
and give him a good shout.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. And so, race winner for the first time this season, James Shane Wolf in the 14 machine. We'll celebrate hard here in Richmond. And how about that? A little bit of a home track, home race for the sponsor. What a great news for James there. So now we look to our second place finisher, driver of the number 47 in Lane Doyle, who was somewhat hard charging there to the end, but was happy to see the 14 cross the line first. But second place finish for the 47 machine today. Lane, huge inroads on your points, or I guess huge gap now on your points lead as Cardi had some trouble tonight. And a great run for yourself with a podium.
Man, I'm tired. That was probably the most exhausting, but also the funniest race I've ever been a part of. I'm not too sure if y'all can hear it, but we were making the worst puns possible as punishment to everyone for causing cautions. Me and Spencer Brown, every single time there would be a caution, we would make the worst puns imaginable. And they were bad, but also the best. So,
I'm all for
I don't know.
it.
It was a really good race. Really enjoyed having another group to run to. Definitely some chaos. Definitely some traded paint. Some people I need to talk with. We apologize to. We'll see when I watch the replays. Yeah, it was a good night.
We talk to you every week, it seems like, which is a good thing because that means you're racking up these podium finishes. Last week, your win is what kept you, in the points lead. Now you've won a couple races. You're really comfortable in the points. We just talked to your teammate James about now that he's locked in as well. Preparation and thoughts kind of shifted the playoffs a little bit. Have you started looking that far ahead? I mean, obviously there's a kind of a ragtag group of tracks until we get there, but at what point do you start saying, I know I'm getting there. How do I get to a point where I can really capitalize on the first round of the playoffs?
Well, I'm definitely looking at the first and second tracks in the playoffs. Chicagoland, it's a really good track. It's got multiple grooves, so therefore it should be one that I'm decent at, because that's what I've been good at this season, is tracks with multiple grooves where you can run, you can change your line. But I've always just kind of struggled recently with Chicagoland. I eat up my tires, which is something I've greatly improved on this season, so I guess it's only a time will tell kind of thing. And then Atlanta, that's super speedway. I look at that one and I pray. That's about all I can do for that.
I don't blame you.
Well, Lane, it's the second place finish for you tonight heading into the double off week. I know you're not too concerned with the regular season and now your points lead opened. How do you maintain your points lead here in the final 7 or so races to try to, secure a regular season championship?
It's gonna start off next race. I can't say next week, I guess.
3 weeks from now.
Charlotte Roval. Yeah, because as we saw at Watkins Glen, Drake is fast at road courses, so I'm gonna have to do a lot of practicing at the Roval so I could try and show some competition there. And after that, we've got a slew of tracks I'm excited for, so I'm hoping to excel there as well.
Well, there you go, Lane. Congratulations on the second place finish tonight and the 1-2-4 of a team. Best luck to you. In 3 weeks' time, I guess, at the Charlotte Roval.
Yeah. Hope to see y'all then as well.
Absolutely. And that was driver of the number 47, Lane Doyle, finishing second tonight. And we now talk to our third place finisher, driver of the number 2, in Daniel Baldler. And Daniel, what more could you have done there at the end?
Few more laps, man. Few more laps.
And that truck looked fast tonight. I picked you to start tonight to win, and JB picked Shameless, so I guess he got me there. But man, you really looked like you had the pace there. Just having to really fight through the thick of the top 10 there. What was that like? And I guess all day, working against the likes of like Cardi and King. What was those battles like?
I feel like I just needed it to go green the whole time. was pretty fast there on that first long run that we had. I feel like I outsaved most everybody that I was racing around anyways. Then we just kept getting those cautions, and we had one group pit, and I don't know, it just kind of worked out perfect for me when I decided to finally just pit and try something different. We just ended up going green to the end, so I really had somewhat fresher tires than most of the field. I don't think it was really all that much because we didn't turn too many green flag laps, but yeah, man, that was fun coming through the field.
You know, we saw you in that long run we had kind of in the middle there. Did a really good job of, we could tell you were saving a little bit of something, kind of backed up a little bit, and then you came on full force and let it rip. So what were you thinking, you know, when you came down pit road that last time? Did you have a feeling we might go green to the end, and you think that might be enough time where you're just like, well, I can't win it doing what I'm doing now, so I might as well try something different?
You know, I don't know. I kind of just decided that it had been long enough since that first group pitted that I could have a little bit of a tire advantage on those guys if I pitted, and I thought as many restarts as we were having, it might be like where I pick up 2-3 spots maybe on a restart each time, and then maybe just get close enough to the front there at the end if we had like a short run to the end. And it couldn't have worked out any more perfect going green the whole time for me.
Do you think if some of those guys gave you a little easier time getting up there, that would have made the difference?
I don't know. I mean, but when I got to Bo, he was the second freshest tires probably besides myself, and he was fast all night, and so he took a little bit to get around. He races hard, but honestly, I probably did myself dirty. Got into the back of the 33 and really checked up to try to give him a chance to save it, and he did, and I actually lost, I think, 2 spots that I had already passed, and I had to repass those guys and everything, so I really probably dug my own grave, but it just is what it is. We come out with a net 0 on the day, so it worked out.
Well, Daniel, coming into the double off week here, you got some nice tracks coming up for you on the schedule. What is the outlook for you on the rest of the regular season here?
Probably definitely gonna hit the Roval. I like the Roval, and then it's just gonna be a lot of see what my schedule looks like as the days come. So I don't know. We'll run as many as I can, and just kind of go from there.
Oh man, you don't have to hit the Roval.
Oh man, I gotta go to the Roval.
I don't think you have
History
to.
tells us that Bodler has to hit the Roval. All right.
Oh man.
For the sake of our own show, we need that.
Yeah, the Roval, man. I like the Roval. That track just flows nice.
It's in the trucks. I think it's one of the coolest races we get. It's going to be a brawl, I'm sure.
Oh, it's a lot of fun.
Yep.
Well, man, congratulations on your 3rd place finish tonight. See you on track in about 3 weeks' time, man.
All right, man. See ya.
I was driver of the number 2 in Daniel Bodler, and yeah, that's me. I'm trying to run the Roval in about 3 weeks' time. That would be a lot of fun. I love road racing these stock car vehicles, stock trucks. Yeah, I know Daniel Bodler's really fast at the Roval.
He loves the Roval, man.
He will be very hard to beat.
Yeah, and we'd love to see you in that event as well. I hope you do choose to run it, because I think that getting out there on track with this field can add a little bit to what you can bring back to the booth. Maybe talk a little bit about how some of these guys drive from a first-person perspective. Because there's nothing like this field we have here, Emerson. And I know last week we had a rough go of it last week. Coming off an off week, everybody a little amped up. Pocono is a tough track at times, but last week was a little bit messy. This week was a short track racing week, so you kind of get to the chaoticness. But we ended up with a really good battle at the end, a nice clean finish. You carry a lot of good momentum into kind of a little bit of a mini holiday break here with us 2 weeks off, once for Thanksgiving, once for a build week. Then when we come back, it's Roval time, and then right after the Roval, we go back to back, and we have our throwback week with Darlington. Those are the only 2 races we have on the December slate. So kind of separated here, a few off weeks in between time, but it does give people 2 weeks to practice for 2 tracks that take a little bit of practice to get around in an efficient manner. So my favorite thing is also it gives guys 2 weeks to really work hard on getting those throwback paints for Darlington ready, which our group always does an amazing job with.
Absolutely. And we have some race results to look at tonight. This is how they came to the checkers, or didn't, this evening. James Shanewolf getting his first victory on the season here in the HairClub Truck Series. Lane Doyle P2, Daniel Butler rounding out the podium there, P3. It'll be Bo Brady and Cal Johnson rounding out the top 5. Dylan Godinez 6th, Matthew Greathouse 7th, Aiden King 8th, John Merriman, nice run for the 18 Machine P9, and then Ben Park will round out the top 10, JB.
Corey Stahl will come home 11th after having a wild day. Daniel Park 12th, Scott Kalov 13th, Adam Caps in his SRN debut 14th, Connor Cunningham 15th, Michael Sidor 16th, Andrew Harris, Justin Smith, Jeffrey Vickery, and Spencer Brown round up the top 20.
21st place will have driver of the number 36, Kyle Spees, rounding out the lead lap. From there, some of the lap trucks tonight. Chris Luttrell 1 lap down to 22nd, Jason Kratke 23rd, Mark Person 24th, all 1 lap down. And then multiple laps down, drivers not seeing the finish in its entirety. Finishing 25th was Sean Corcoran, 26th, Austin DeLong, 27th, Dalton McKinney, 28th, Shane Ledoux, 29th, Drake Carty, 2nd at .6, a big tumble tonight. It'll be 30th for Sean Long, 31st for Wally Babb, 32nd, David Flanagan, and 33rd for Robert Vick.
I want to give a shout out again for our winner, James Shanewolf, in 3rd place, Daniel Bodler, on a 0 incident point race on a track where pretty easy to rack those up at a high number. So that's an impressive feat, and they should be proud of that achievement.
And the way it ran tonight, these boys able to keep it clean out there on the track. Great job from them. You know, the way it was racing around them, you wouldn't think they got 0 X's, but man, they wielded to a clean show tonight, man, for them. And yeah, crazy night tonight. Let's just say action-packed. And we did get some great racing there in that first run for sure.
Yeah, and we got back to that racing at the end of this race that we've kind of seen all season. I feel like a lot of races this season we kind of have a little bit of back and forth early, kind of a little chaotic situation, and then we settle into a nice groove. And that's kind of what we saw at the end of that race. Wish we could have done that a little bit more, but you know, that's all right. That's part of it. We move forward and move on, and I think the wick on the competition is going to turn up as we get closer to the playoffs. Like Emerson, you were talking about pre-race. We don't have that many races before we get there, so you know, guys are going to start to be aggressive, especially if they're needing to win to get in. But in turn, you're going to see a lot of guys, and Shane Wolf talked about it. You know, they're just going to try to finish all these races they can, maybe earn a little bit of that weekly prize money, but really turn that focus in on prep for those playoff races.
Absolutely. And so before our couple weeks off here, I guess we give a shout out to our partners that have made it possible to make it to this point on the season. JB, of course, we shouted out HairClub, the series namesake, Premier Racing Setups. Of course, it's been on your screen all season long. Admin Box, of course, Admin Box is built by iRacers for iRacers, with the goal being to make race control as easy as possible. Each Admin Box connects via USB and features pre-programmed commands for race control, driver function, and pit options. LED backlight makes the buttons highly visible in any situation, and make sure you use code SRN-BOXX for 10% off of your Admin Box order. And ThermoPro produces the best wireless meat thermometers and digital hygrometers for household use. Before establishing their brand, ThermoPro supplied some of the largest brands you see on the market today, working behind the scenes as a manufacturer, and now providing consumers with top quality products at a very competitive price without sacrificing functionality or quality. Make sure you use code ThermoProTeam to save 15% off of your order. And of course, a shout out to Top Coat and Better Boat for also joining us along the ride this season here at SRN. If you're watching on YouTube, guys, we greatly appreciate if you would like and subscribe to the show this week, every week, if you will, because it greatly supports us as we continue to strive for our YouTube goals here at SRN. And of course, a shout out to all of our social media outlets: our Facebook page at facebook.com/Speed Racing Network, our X page at Speed Racing Net, our Instagram at instagram.com/Speed Racing Network, our YouTube at youtube.com/Speed Racing Network, our Twitch at Speed Racing Net, to LinkedIn at linkedin.com/company/Speed Racing Network, and of course, the website where you keep up with all things SRN when it comes to news, schedules, points, and all the like is waiting for you at speedracingnetwork.com. Any final thoughts, JB, before we head into our double off week here?
Not really. I hope that everybody has a fantastic Thanksgiving week. They're able to spend that time with their families, and if they're traveling, be safe. And let us take the week off as well to kind of do the same, and then let iRacing do whatever updates they need the next week to make sure we come back to a great service product for the roll. And so if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and turn that notification button on so you're notified when we go live for the Roval, because that's going to be a must-watch event for sure.
Absolutely. Well, that'll do it for us here from Richmond. Thank you all so much for tuning in and joining us for tonight's action, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. Join us in 3 weeks' time as the HairClub trucks head to the Charlotte Roval for round 10 on the season. Until then, enjoy the 2 weeks off. From all at Speed Racing Network, Jonathan Byer and myself, Emerson Arden, thank you all so much for watching, and have a great Thanksgiving.